You're listening to Cottontail's podcast, part of the Silicon Valley Black Project, which produced the documentary film A Place at the Table about the Black pioneers of Silicon Valley. A Place at the Table can be viewed for rent on Vimeo.com on demand /A Place at the Table STEM. Through Cottontail's podcast, the Silicon Valley Black Project will continue to recognize the contributions made by African Americans. We will be featuring African American professionals, technologists in the fields of engineering, administration, and entrepreneurial pursuits from the past and present. Today, we're talking to Joyce Gordon, owner and founder of the Joyce Gordon Gallery in downtown Oakland, California. Miss Gordon began her career in the field of beauty with a unique hair salon that reflected her love of art, design, and her astute business skills. She has operated her art gallery for over 18 years and has added a photo gallery and framing shop. How are things, Miss Gordon?
Well, the gallery is still here.
Okay.
We're not doing any events or activities or anything like that. There were a few people coming in before they shut it down the last time. So we're just kind of here enjoying the artwork ourselves.
Yeah. Have you got an online presence where you can sell online?
Actually, we did a virtual gallery. So we're getting ready to set it up now for all of because we are changing exhibits every 2 months. And so we're setting it up where we'll have the virtual gallery tour, and then we will have artist talks where you can tune in and talk to the artists and they'll answer questions. And yeah, so we're kind of trying to get that together and also work on my website because this is just not that good. But it's I think it's kind of important right now to that together. Just a little bit, yeah. And we're set up, people can come in for appointments on Sundays or whatever day. But we're really here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 1 till 6.
And you're located where now?
Well, we are still here at 406 14th Street, downtown Oakland, block over from City Hall, block from the 12th Street BART station. So we're still here.
And
We've been here.
Joyce Gordon Gallery, or has it changed its name or anything like that? Or?
No, no one has changed my name, so there it is.
There it is.
Still Joyce Gordon Gallery. Yeah. So we're still here. 18 years, Kathy. In March, it will be 18 years.
What a journey!
Can you believe that?
No.
Oh my! I don't either. Are you sure? Yeah.
Well, you know you're not supposed to exist. You know that, don't you?
That's right. Yeah, I was supposed to have been gone 2 days after I opened, or 2 weeks.
Exactly. And here you are.
However, 2 years after I opened, I was like, well, this was not a part of the plan. This is not going, okay, give it a little more time.
Yeah.
10 years later.
So
here, 18 years later, I'm glad that I'm really glad that I'm still here. And,
Yeah.
Oh, and since I've been here, I think the last 4 years ago, I started a nonprofit. So we do this event every year, and we did this year. On the summer, it's called Oh Yay, Oakland Youth Art Explosion. So we have a stage, we take over the street downtown, and we have different young jazz musicians play, and we have dance groups perform. We have martial arts. We have spoken word. I tried to think of everything that young people are doing and enjoy doing. And all of the vendors are young people. And when I say young people, I'm saying from middle school to age 25. So they sell their artwork. I mean, they design tennis shoes, they do comic books, paintings, drawings, whatever they're doing. So it's for them. And then we have organizations that work with you to vend also. So that's kind of fun. And it usually opens on a Saturday. That Friday night we have a art exhibit in the gallery with all of these little people, all of these young people, and it's set up, curated just like the professional artists, and that's nice. So, and then that's a one big thing we do, and we do one big fundraiser in December, and that is a holiday jazz concert. And we have these jazz groups play. We had a couple of dancers a couple of years, and we raised money to buy jackets for foster youth and underserved youth in the community. So there's something really nice about young people raising money for young people.
Right.
You know, they learn at an early age to reach out and take care of their sisters and brothers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and eventually we'll set up workshops in the gallery where the youth could come in and work with artists and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that.
That sounds exciting, Joyce. You just haven't let any grass grow under your feet, have you?
Child, no, I got to keep it moving. If I stop, I might be planted there for a while.
I doubt it. Well, I want people to know who Joyce Gordon is. So tell me a little bit about your family, your siblings, and your beginnings.
Well, Joyce Gordon is in the, I guess Jeffrey keeps saying, Joyce, we're in the third quarter. I think I'm approaching the fourth quarter. But anyway, I grew up in Berkeley, was born in a little country town in Louisiana called Zachary, in a house that my father built. Isn't that neat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
And, we moved to California, I guess, when I was 6 years old. My father came out here to work the shipyards 100 years ago. And we lived I remember when we first moved here, we lived in, I don't even know the name of it, but it was in West Oakland. It was, you go across this little bridge, and there were, what do you call them? Projects.
Yeah, Navy housing or military housing.
Navy, yeah. And we could run down to the water because the ships would be coming in. And our classroom was this little portable. So I guess we were there for about 6 months or something like that. And oftentimes I would ask my mother, where was that? Oh, Joyce, I don't know. And I'd ask my aunt, well, Aunt Selena, where did we live? Oh, Joyce, I don't remember. I said, they know.
They don't want to remember.
Want to remember. And from there, we moved to, at the time it was called Cordnices Village. Eventually, they became University Village, and students and faculty from UC Berkeley lived there. But I guess we lived there. I remember my address. It was 1141 9th Street, Apartment A, across the street from the Rec.
Yeah. We had to know our addresses back then. If we got lost, you had to know your address.
Right, because there was no cell phone to call somebody, right?
You had to know and you had to know your phone number if you had a phone, at least
right.
Your neighbor's number.
Right, yeah. And so from there, then my father bought a house in Berkeley, and we lived there. And then we moved to a larger house he bought in Berkeley, and that's where I grew up with 7 brothers and 1 sister. So I've never really kind of got into the women's lib and that kind of thing because I've always grown up as a little princess, and I like that. I like having the fellas do things. I can't change a tire to this day. I've never washed my car. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
I mean, when you have 7 brothers,
That's true. It depends on the
yeah,
brothers.
you don't have to.
It's just that my brothers would make me learn.
Well,
they would teach me, so you can, so I don't have to do this again. They tell me.
yeah, no. Well, see, maybe you didn't have enough brothers because if this one didn't cooperate, then the other one would, and then they get the word from my father.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care of your sister.
So, yeah, so that's where I grew up.
Did you go to Berkeley High?
Of course.
Again,
I went to Berkeley High. However, I didn't want to go to Berkeley High because one year we cut class and went to the football game at McClymonds. And I thought I had died and went to heaven. It was just wonderful. Oh, all those black people and the football game and all those guys. Oh, it was just wonderful. But my father wasn't having it, so I had to stay at Berkeley High. I also wanted to go to Castleman. Because Castleman had all the cute guys. I mean, they were just so fine brothers at Castleman. I mean, they were, you always think it's better on the other side. There was some
always greener, yes.
Yeah, there were some cool guys at Berkeley High. But yeah, I went to Berkeley High and grew up in Berkeley, to Berkeley High. And then I went to Merritt College. It was called Grove Street College. Well, they called it Grove Street College. But I spent most of my time, and it was called Joe Ethel's, this little hamburger place across the street. Everybody go and play cards and that kind of thing. And then at some point, can't remember. Oh, I had this little boyfriend who was a barber, and so I went to beauty school. We were gonna get married and open a beauty barber shop and that kind of thing. Well, there's always those stray women that come in and just take over your man.
Yeah, there they are.
So that was the end of that. So after beauty school, I did hair for years, and then I opened I think it was in 1980. Wow. I did this. I was married by then, and my husband at the time and I opened this. Published a hairstyling book for women of color, because every time a woman comes into the salon, they're looking through the hairstyling books, and there were none for us. So we did that in 1980, and then I opened my first salon in Berkeley. And that was awesome. That was just great, because we'd have poetry readings in the gallery. We had art exhibits in the gallery. I had a masseuse that would come from Marin and do massages. And then I noticed that a lot of women, when they would come into the salon, they kick their shoes off. And so I had this guy to come in and do foot massage. We had it going on. And it was in a little cottage. And we had a fireplace. It was a 1-bedroom cottage, and the living room was the styling room. And then there was a big closet off from that was a little boutique. And then the bedroom was the shampoo area and the massage area. And what would have been the little kitchen and dining area was for the manicures and that kind of thing. It was fabulous.
You were an entrepreneur from the get-go, girl.
Yeah, and we used to have garden parties and have this harpist would play in the garden and have it catered. My brother was a fabulous caterer. We would just sit around and chit-chat and look lovely. We'd have I've always had access to all these fabulous women. So we would have a fashion show, and used to do a lot of hair shows and that kind of thing, and traveled across country, actually working for this company using their product and demonstrating different haircuts and hairstyles and that kind of thing. But I've never, ever been a talker, so I would not talk. But I would just whip. Now, Kathy, I can whip some hair, girl.
Honey,
And I would just do all of these really fabulous hairstyles and haircuts. And he said, my boss said, Joyce, you got to talk. And I said, well, I just can't. He says, you really got. He says, well, when I had the interview with you, you talked. I said, because I wanted the job. But, I just can't do that. So I remember one Sunday at a show in LA, at a break, and I went into the lobby, and these young ladies are out there talking. I said, come sit in the front row and ask me questions so I can talk. And so they said, okay. And so they sat in the front row and they asked me, I don't even remember what it was, but I knelt down and I said, girl, I didn't tell you to ask me that. Don't ask me that. So my boss eventually hired someone to talk for me. They would talk while I would do my thing. So I did that for some years. And at the time, I would go to museums and art galleries. I've always loved art. But see, before I opened the first salon, I went to art school in Berkeley. I dropped out, 'cause I was that kind of person. And but I still love art. And then if you're growing up with boys and they're all watching sports and that kind of thing, then I spent a lot of time in my room sketching and writing poetry. So, fast forward, working for the company and traveling around and all of that. And then I decided, it was at that time, I decided that I didn't want to travel. I didn't want to do that anymore. When I travel, I wanted to travel for leisure. I didn't want to travel to work. So I quit, and I was still at my salon. And then I decided, this is, years later, that I wanted to open a gallery. And so I started looking around for spaces. And at the time, I thought I wanted to be in Jack London, close to Yoshi's, because my thinking was people that appreciate jazz appreciate art. Well, couldn't get a space down there because they wanted chain restaurants or something like that. So my kid, at this time, they were living in Atlanta. So I went to Atlanta and I found a space there. So I was going to move there. And when I got back, a friend worked around the corner on Broadway and asked me, well, Joyce, have you seen that space Jeffrey has for rent? I said, what space? And so I came around here and oh God, it was just, that's a whole nother story. And so meanwhile, this other guy, he was a professor at UC Berkeley from England. And I asked him to come and look at the space and see what he thought. Oh, girl, you can do this. Oh, yes, girl, you should do this. And so I did it.
There it is.
Yeah. So it's like, well, now what do you do?
Now you got this big hole in the wall.
And, I didn't really know anything about how you run a gallery. And growing up in Berkeley, I was always around a lot of artists and knew a lot of artists. That you just hang this work up and people just come in and buy it. Mm-hmm. Wrong. And sometime before then, I went to a design school in Berkeley and I met this young lady who became my little sister. And she was going through a divorce. She was German. She had a house in Sundance. And so and there was another German girl. So it was just the three of us. We were really, really, really tight. And she came to class one day and she says, oh, Joyce, I got the divorce. Let's celebrate. And I said, oh, okay. And so she says, let's go to Sundance. And I said, wow, okay. Kathy, if I tell you, I had no idea what Sundance was.
You didn't.
I thought it was, I thought it was like going to Carmel or, something like that.
Yeah.
And so, and I went to the salon and I was telling the ladies, oh, I'm going to Sundance. And they said, oh, Joyce, you're kidding. And I said, no, I am. And they said, you're really going to Sundance? And I said, yeah. And everybody just seemed so taken. I said, well, what is Sundance? Joyce, you don't know what Sundance is? And it's like, no. And they said, well, that's where Robert Redford is and all these movie stars come there and, that kind of thing. And I said, oh, wow. Okay. So my friend at the time, I said, Ricky, we're going to go to Sundance. And he said, yeah, Joyce. And I said, no, really, we're going to go. He says, okay. Because before that, my friend lived in Tiburon, so we would go and hang out. And I kept asking her, well, when am I going to meet your boyfriend? And she says, oh, Joyce, you're going to meet him. And I said, oh, he must be really a nice guy, because she was just really a sweetheart. So we were there one Sunday, and I said, well, when is he? Where is he? She says, he's in Montana shooting a film. And I said, oh, okay. So then I tell my friend, oh, you really have to meet Ricky, Billy's boyfriend, because he's a photographer. He said, a photographer? And I said, yeah, he's shooting this film, The Horse Whisperer, which I had read the book because I read a lot. I don't even own a TV. I just enjoy reading. So Ricky called me back. He says, Joyce. I said, he's, no. I said, he's the producer, because I asked her, he's a producer. And he called me, he says, Joyce, Robert Redford is the producer. And I said, oh, shit, he must be a photographer or something. So the other friend of ours, she couldn't go. So I said, well, I'll just wait. And so I said, well, Billy, I'm going to wait because Gabrielle can't go. And she says, oh, no, no, Joyce, I want you to go. I want you to go. I said, okay. And she says, then you can stay at, I was going to stay at her house. And then she called and she said, well, Joyce, you can't stay at my house because the people haven't moved out. So you'll stay at my boyfriend's guest house. And I said, oh, okay. So when I talked to the other friend, Gabrielle, I said, well, Gabrielle, we're going to go. And then we'll go when your husband is available later on, like in September. And she says, well, Joyce, do you know who Billy's boyfriend is? And I said, no. And she says, well, are you sure? I said, how could I know him? I've never met him. I said, but he must be a really super guy, because I mean, Kathy, she's just really a sweetheart.
Yeah.
So she says, well, Joyce, she thinks you know. And I said, well, how could she think I know? I've never met him. She never told me who he was, except he was working on some film or this and that. I said, well, who is he? And so she says, well, I'll tell you, because she's going to tell you. And I said, okay, who is he? And she said, Robert Redford. And I said, no shit. So then I called Ricky. And I said, Ricky, guess who Billy's boyfriend is? He says, who, Joyce? I said, Robert Redford. He said, no shit. I mean, it was just total disbelief.
Yeah.
Total disbelief. And so we went to Sundance and we hung out, and it was just really, really wonderful. Yeah, so fast forward, when I opened the gallery, Jeffrey says, Joyce, do you have your press release? And I said, press release? What is a press release? He said, oh, Joyce, you got to have a press release. And I said, well, no, I don't have a press release. So then I called Billy and I said, Billy, Jeffrey says, asked me if I had a press release, and I had to have a press release. I don't even know what a press release is. And she says, oh, Joyce. And so Robert Redford had his secretary write my press release.
Cool. That's cool.
You just fall into stuff, and you don't even know where you're falling. Yeah, so that was really.
I remember when you were doing my hair, and you were still trying to get your gallery off the ground. And you told me that you were hanging out with Billy and her boyfriend. And what a nice person he was, and on and on. And I don't know. Finally, you just mentioned that it was Robert Redford, and I'm like,
oh, there she go again, making up stuff.
It's like I really almost was bad as you, thinking maybe she doesn't know who he is, because you weren't. Most people when they meet a movie star, they gush, they brag about it. But you were like, it's Robert Redford. He's a really nice guy. The one thing that I really appreciated, and I just put you up on a pedestal, when you said that you guys were sitting around and Robert said, hey, Joyce, why don't you cut my hair? And you told him, no, Robert, I'm not that kind of friend, or we're not.
I don't want to be your stylist.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm your friend.
I'm your friend. And I thought,
Yeah.
that's a cool answer. I mean,
I
most
don't know
people
if that was cool or not. I could be in Hollywood now doing somebody's hair.
doing somebody's. No, I think he respected you for that. I would. What you're
Well,
saying
they were.
is,
That was really a great um, experience. It was really, really wonderful. Of course, I don't see them anymore, but it was a nice um, interlude. It was really good. We had some
Did
great.
he help you with the gallery at all?
Well, I didn't know what to ask for.
Oh,
Um, and, I would never ask for a check
no.
because money can just go so far. So I couldn't think. And then I thought, oh, I know. I want to do an art exhibit at Sundance during the film festival. That's what I want.
Mhm.
Bam. And that's what happened.
Fabulous.
So I took 3 artists from here and we went to Sundance and we had an exhibit in the gallery there. It was wonderful. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was that was um, that was really good. And then Billy's an artist, and she had a couple of exhibits here at the gallery. So I met a lot of interesting people. But if you don't know what you don't know, they're just great people.
Yes.
I don't know. You know, so that's how that was.
But
Yeah.
don't you think that's the best way to meet people? I mean, my feeling is that's they chose to do those things. That's their avocation. Those are things they want to do in life. It shouldn't mean that you're in awe of them. You can learn from them.
Absolutely. And it was just so genuine,
Yes.
just real.
Yeah.
Even when I had the gallery opening and he was here, and Billy and I came into the gallery, and there was a whole line of people all the way out the door. And I'm like, why are all these people here? Why are they standing in line? And they were getting his autograph.
Okay.
And I think then, it was a couple of days later, and I said, Billy, I know that was Robert Redford, and I know that he's a movie star and all of that. I said, but I don't think it really clicked in until that day when I saw all of these people lined up, and everybody was telling him they were my cousin, they were my sister, they were my brother, he says, Joyce, all of these people are related to you? And I said, well, yeah, Bob, you're my first cousin. Okay, this is how we do it. So
Have you been to Asia with your artist touch?
no, I just got an invite New Year's Day to go to and spend about a month in Brazil. And this time last year, I was in Ghana. My daughter and I were in
How long
Ghana.
did you stay?
We were only there, I think it was 8 days.
Didn't you have an artist that you were supporting that was from Ghana or
Right.
Nigeria? Mm-hmm.
That's Aziz. He's from Senegal.
Senegal. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably go to Senegal.
Mm-hmm.
We were planning to go this year because he's just built 2 beach houses. If not this year, whenever he's ready to go, we're going to go.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not going to be in Brazil a month, but
Well,
maybe a
it's
week.
5 days. I've had it. I'm ready to come home.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm surprised that you wouldn't want to stay in Ghana more than a week or so.
When I went to Ghana, it was with like a tour group. When I was in Senegal for 3 weeks, I was with Aziz and his family. And it's just I don't know, it's a different experience when you're living with someone who lives there as opposed to going with a tour group. So I don't think that I guess I could have stayed in Ghana longer if I knew someone that lived there.
Yeah. Yes.
As opposed to just, even though I like the people in Ghana, better than the people in Senegal because they are so arrogant and just. But the people in Ghana were just really warm and friendly and nice. Plus, they speak English. In Ghana, I mean, in Senegal, everybody's speaking French.
Have you seen changes in art nowadays? Is there a different type of art that's kind of coming to the forefront?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of digital art. A lot of the young artists are doing digital art.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of collage, a lot of political art.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then everything else is just kind of the same with a little more something else added to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, what happened to your the artist that you were so Aziz? Is he still one of your clients, or has he
Aziz
retired?
opened a gallery in Los Angeles, and actually, part of the exhibit that we have up now is Aziz artwork. But we had planned to do a exchange. Five of our artists were going to go to Los Angeles, and five of his were coming up here, and it was called Poetic Justice.
Oh,
That was the theme of the show.
Yeah.
But then, they closed down everything.
Yes.
So we had to cancel it. So Aziz has a big, fabulous gallery in Lamert Park in Los Angeles. And so when I told him the theme of the show, because, it was like, I don't know if you saw the film when they were coming up from from LA to Oakland. He says, why you name it Poetic Justice? Why you do that? And I said, well, we were just thinking it was an exchange with Oakland and LA. Well, the space where his gallery is, it's where they set up a lot of the work for the film Poetic Justice.
Oh, how interesting.
So, I just kind of fall into stuff without knowing.
You said before you didn't know how to run a gallery. What were some of the pitfalls that you think now looking back you could have avoided when you started your gallery?
I think that some of the things I should have just trusted my own judgment in terms of my artist selection.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I had made too many changes every month. I think I should have had exhibits up longer. I think that I should have not had so many openings, not so many shows, and just had artwork placed in the gallery. Because I think it was like 3-4 years after that, I opened a photography gallery downstairs because I have 2 levels.
Oh, I see.
So I think that in my choice of artists and trusting myself, my own ideas and the way because so many people are coming at you and suggesting this and suggesting that and all of that. And I think if I had done that, it would have been better.
Well, obviously, it really doesn't matter because 18 years later,
I'm still here.
Still well known.
Everybody says, Joyce, how's the gallery? And I said, well, my key still fits in the door and the lights come on. So I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
The gallery has kind of, it's just kind of morphed into a cultural center. I mean, it's a gallery, but we do so many things here. There's several groups of spoken word artists, and they do performances here. We have book signings here.
There are other organizations there in Oakland. Are you affiliated with any other organizations where you guys kind of help each other out there in Oakland?
Well, there's the East Side Art Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
They have kind of partnered with me. We have supported each other. I can't think of any other organization that I've really partnered with, but a lot of the a lot of the organizations have used the gallery space for their events or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but only in that way that we support each other.
I find that there's almost like a black renaissance going on right now. And at first I thought the COVID downturn would really hurt us, but it hasn't, because I find that black folks have used the social media much more to their advantage than any other group. They know how to manipulate.
I think it has, it's been bad, but it's been good.
Yeah.
Because, it forces you to stretch, to step outside yourself and just really do some different things. And people seem to be connecting more and supporting each other more. And that's just really a wonderful thing. Yeah. That had not been going on as much as it is now. Yeah.
I'm surprised you're open at all. You're an essential, or do they know that you're open?
I just can't have events here, but people can come in because it's a lot of space. And when you walk in the gallery, you're not on top of each other.
Right.
And then the framing is open because it's just him and his assistant down there. Okay. So, and you're standing, we worked it out. We're creative. Right. We're creative black folks. Okay?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, Joyce, I tell you, I've always admired you. I've always thought the world of you. I just think, here's a woman, and she just does it. She's not asking permission. She just does this thing. Because I'm sure people probably said, why you open up a gallery?
Oh, Kathy. They thought I had lost my mind. And do you remember Rasay?
Yes.
Oh, Rasay thought I was just crazy. Everybody thought I was just, she don't know what she's doing. She's gonna lose all of her money. She's gonna lose her house. She's gonna lose everything.
Yeah.
And it was like, Joyce, what if you open and then in 3 months you close? And I said, well, it just means that that's how long it was supposed to be, 3 months. But at least I did it.
Yes. Yeah.
I just believe that you do whatever it is that you imagine or think that you want to do. Right. Do it. And then my father used to tell me there was no such thing as can't. So somewhere that kind of stuck in my brain. But along the way, when you're doing stuff, you need to kind of plan it out, which I didn't do, So, it's a lot I did not do.
Well, who did you know had another gallery that you could have gone to and asked these things?
Listen, I knew 2 people that had a gallery, but people don't want to give you information. Well, Joyce, why should I tell you this? Because then you'll just go open up another gallery. Well, yeah, that's the plan. So, so you're almost kind of out there on your own, Okay. But then different people, when you have faith and you believe, God just places the right people along your way, to, help you to the next level or the next step or whatever. And then I don't move through this life in fear.
Good. Yeah.
There
you go. Yeah.
I'm just that kind of whatever that.
Just that kind of gal, huh?
Just that kind of gal, that country gal.
There you go. We came this far,
right?
without too much trouble. No, yeah, I feel that way too. I really do. Because I found after I made that film, I met the most interesting people, and it usually was right after they saw the film. They'd say, "You did that?" Yeah. That was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, I feel these podcasts are kind of the same thing. I saw a ad for it. It said to set you up and all the equipment you needed for podcasts. It's like, I don't have none of that stuff. But I still think these conversations are so valuable. I'm collecting all the people I think that are eclectic, interesting,
Uh-huh.
daring, things that people can learn things from. And you were one of the people that came in my mind. And so that's why I kept bugging you.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome,
My
dear.
sister from the past.
Yeah. Yes, your sister from another mother, honey.
Right.
You have a good one, girl. Behave yourself, all right?
I will. I will.
Thank you, Joyce Gordon, for sharing your unique and successful life. Joyce's Gallery sponsors the Oakland Youth Art Explosion, or OYE Festival, which encourages youth to express themselves artistically through art, music, dance, and poetry. Look for the OYE Festival this summer. You can visit the Joyce Gordon Gallery at 406 14th Street, Oakland, California. Thank you, Joyce Gordon, and thank you for listening.